Good morning, evening, or night, wherever you are. Welcome to WHAM today. Take a deep breath, clear your mind, and let's drift through the whispers of today's world, one quiet thought at a time, as we wrap up Sunday, 29th June 2025. Let's see what stories are unfolding around us. Iran's nuclear program remains a source of international tension, particularly regarding the Strait of Hormuz. This crucial oil transit route is vulnerable to Iranian closure, alarming global economies. While recent strikes have temporarily impacted Iran's nuclear capabilities, a preliminary dire report indicates a setback of only a few months, differing from White House claims. Experts warn that military force alone cannot eradicate Iran's nuclear aspirations, and retaliation against US networks is expected. In direct response to the strikes, Iran has launched missile attacks on US bases in Qatar and Iraq. Analysts assess that Iran faces limited and unappealing options moving forward. China's economic landscape is currently navigating headwinds marked by subdued consumer spending, particularly affecting the automotive sector, a concern highlighted at the recent World Economic Forum, WEF, held in Tianjin. The nation's strategic dominance in the global supply of rare earth minerals empowers it with considerable influence over major economies such as the United States, Europe, and India. Given these minerals' crucial role in producing smartphones, electric vehicles, and military applications, further solidifying its geopolitical role, China recently hosted the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, RCO, defense ministers meeting in Qingdao, a gathering that included the defense ministers from Iran and Russia, underscoring a period of evolving global dynamics. Russia continues its involvement in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war and has expressed a strategic interest in the Asia-Pacific region, indicating it would not remain neutral in a potential conflict between the United States and China. Military cooperation between India and Russia is intensifying, with new deals for missiles and jets solidifying their strategic partnership. Turning to Ukraine, the nation is grappling with widespread infrastructure damage due to ongoing conflict, necessitating significant international aid for reconstruction efforts. President Zelensky continues to advocate for increased military support from Western allies to bolster defenses. Efforts to join the European Union are ongoing, with several key reforms underway to meet membership criteria. In the latest from Canada, Prime Minister Trudeau announced new measures to combat rising inflation, including targeted support for low-income families. The Canadian government is also facing increasing pressure to address housing affordability crisis, with debates ongoing about potential solutions. Additionally, Canada is actively participating in international discussions on climate change, reaffirming its commitment to reduce emissions. Ukraine is bracing for a challenging summer, according to a NATO assessment, as the conflict continues to intensify. To assist in repelling Russian aggression, the United Kingdom is set to supply Ukraine with 350 ASRAAM missiles. The financial backing for this military aid package will be drawn from frozen Russian assets held within the UK DI. Argentina is set to receive its first F-16 fighter jets in December, with ongoing negotiations with Terma to upgrade their avionics for the Argentine Air Force. Turning to Australia, the nation is enhancing its NATO collaboration by deploying a radar detection aircraft to Poland to safeguard aid routes into Ukraine. Furthermore, the Australian MQ-28 unmanned combat aircraft has successfully completed testing for coordinated operations with manned fighter jets. Shifting focus to China, defense officials from both Pakistan and India are scheduled to attend a Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCOAM meeting held in the country. In Estonia, Task Force Iron, Maryland National Guard joined NATO allies in the Victory Day parade. Meanwhile, Ethiopia is actively developing a modern, technologically advanced army to effectively address contemporary global security challenges. Germany is making significant strides in military development, with plans to construct what will be Europe's largest military. In related news, Baltops 25 recently concluded in Kiel, Germany.org. India is strengthening its military alliance with Russia through new agreements involving missiles and jets. Simultaneously, Indian and Pakistani defense officials will participate in a Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO meeting in China. Israel has declared its intention to maintain air superiority over Iran. In related events, intense Israeli strikes on South Lebanon resulted in 1 fatality and 11 injuries. Escalating regional conflict also forced Saudi Arabia, Israel, Iran, and UAE airlines to reroute and cancel flights. In Iraq, military bases experienced overnight strikes. Japan and the US are currently engaged in discussions concerning deterrence strategies. Separately, the Philippine Air Force is evaluating the Japanese F-2 as a potential option for its future multi-role fighter acquisition. Tragically, in Lebanon, 1 person was killed and 11 others were wounded due to intense Israeli strikes on the southern region. In Malaysia, US and Malaysian service members celebrated unity through a culinary experience. Malaysia is also set to deploy Turkish ANCAS drones for maritime surveillance in the South China Sea. New Zealand-led navies recently concluded counter-narcotics operations in Middle East waters. Defense officials from Pakistan, like those from India, are slated to attend a Shanghai Cooperation Organization (ASEO) meeting in China. The Philippine Air Force is considering the Japanese F-2 as a candidate for its future multi-role fighter acquisition. Poland will host an Australian radar detection aircraft, part of Australia's increased collaboration with NATO, aimed at protecting aid delivery routes to Ukraine. Portugal's Air Force is considering the Rafale fighter jet over the US F-35 in 2025. The US Air Force is using Sentinel money to retrofit a Qatar jet. Explosions were heard over Doha, Qatar, after Iran threatened retaliation for strikes. Flights resumed in Qatar as airspace reopened amid the Middle East conflict. Russia is further cementing its ties with India through new missile and jet deals. The United Kingdom plans to utilize frozen Russian funds to provide Ukraine with up to 350 new Azra missiles. Saudi Arabia's F-15 fighter jets will have their life extended as Boeing wins a $49 million sustainment contract. Saudi Arabia, Israel, Iran, and UAE airlines forced to reroute and cancel flights as regional conflict escalates. Singapore welcomed the arrival of the British Navy's HMS Prince of Wales carrier strike group, reaffirming its commitment to the Indo-Pacific region. According to a defense analyst, South Africa is completely unprepared if World War III hits. Switzerland is contesting a $1.30 billion price increase in the F-35 fighter deal with the U.S. border. Taiwan is anticipated to receive the first 10 new F-16 Block 70 fighter jets for its Air Force from the United States by the end of the year. Thailand is utilizing the Paris Air Show as a platform to launch a long-term aircraft sustainment program. Saudi Arabia, Israel, Iran, and UAE airlines forced to reroute and cancel flights as regional conflict escalates. The United Kingdom will allocate frozen Russian funds to supply Ukraine with up to 350 new Azra missiles and will also purchase 12 F-35A nuclear-capable aircraft from the United States. Furthermore, the British Navy's HMS Prince of Wales carrier strike group has arrived in Singapore, underscoring its dedication to the Indo-Pacific. In the United States, the Air Force is using Sentinel funds to upgrade a Qatar jet. Discussions are ongoing between Japan and the U.S. regarding deterrence strategies. The U.S. and Malaysian service members recently shared a culinary experience. The U.S. is expected to finalize the delivery of the first 10 new F-16 Block 70 fighter jets to the Taiwanese Air Force before year's end. The United Kingdom will acquire 12 F-35A nuclear-capable aircraft from the United States. Switzerland is challenging a $1.30 billion price hike in the F-35 fighter deal with the U.S. New Mexico has initiated a new lawsuit against the U.S. Air Force concerning FAS contamination. And that's a wrap for today's news, because even headlines need a nap. Stay curious, stay kind, and let the noise fade as you find your quiet. Take care, stay awesome, and I'll see you next time on WHAM Today.